Hi guys, welcome back. I know 2 videos in one day. I'm hoping to make it 3 or 4. I've already got my camera and some other things all set up for me to post my videos, and I probably won't be back on here again until maybe Friday. I'm gonna try to do, like I said before, probably just 1 video a week for now, because it's very time consuming to do these videos, and unfortunately I have to share my time with a real job. So the videos aren't going to be 4 times a week as I was truly hoping, but we'll see what we can produce today, and then hopefully next week I'll start doing 1 video a week and hopefully generating a discussion. Right now I would like to revisit a topic that I discussed before, but on a different level. I have previously done a video on my thoughts on transgenders in the military. Today I would just like to discuss transgender and where we are today with that, and how it's affecting all kinds of people. Like people who never thought that they were ever going to have to deal with something like this are finding themselves conflicted on how to respond. And generally this issue comes in the form of children who claim that they're transgender, or that they don't feel like the sex that they are, and how we're supposed to handle that. A lot of people never thought they would ever have to deal with a situation like that, much less ever see the inside of a courtroom over something like that. There are plenty of cases right now where parents are losing custody of their children, or judges are threatening visitation and custody of their children based on where they stand in the transgender medical side of everything, and how it's handled. Apparently, if you're not like a 100% liberal who's ready to let your 5-year-old hack his penis off and call himself Sally, you are a bad parent. What? I'm just appalled, because when I was very, very liberal in my views, I would hear the other side exclaim, "Oh, you let people do A, B, and C today, and next they're going to want X, Y, and Z." And what they were talking about was, if you let people transgender, if you let gay people get married, I mean, all of these subjects came with, it's going to turn into this. And it sounded so ridiculous. It sounded so ridiculous to me to hear people say, "Oh, you let gay people get married, next thing you know, people are going to want to marry their truck." What? Oh, you let people, you know, change their sex, next thing you know, they're going to want to change their race. What? Like, they would take the most extreme situation and apply it and say, if you allow this, then this is going to happen. And I'm like, well, that's just absurd. That's like taking away freedom. Oh, wait a minute. We are taking away freedoms now. And it's ridiculous that the world has literally turned into the very world they said it would if we continue to make the decisions that we're making. And I thought you guys sound completely out of your freaking minds. I was wrong. Those people were not out of their minds. They were dead spot on what was going to happen next. And we're living right in the middle of it. And half the people are just treating it like it's normal. There is nothing normal about taking your issue to a judge and saying, "My wife or my husband won't let my 8-year-old go through hormone therapy. He's a bad parent. I don't want him to see his son or his daughter or whatever because I don't like his influence. It's unhealthy." Really? That's what's unhealthy? Not allowing a 8-year-old to make grown people decisions? It's the parent with the concern? That's the issue? wow. I mean, really, wow. I'm floored, right? So here I am, trying to digest the fact that there are parents losing their children because they won't allow them to medically alter themselves at a young age. Their bodies haven't even finished growing yet. Their brains haven't even finished developing yet. And somehow, the parent who says, well, maybe we need to address this in steps, and maybe we need to address it slowly, and maybe we just shouldn't jump in and give an 8-year-old what they want, is now bad parenting. What are these people trying to do to society by allowing this catastrophic decision that's affecting people who never, ever, ever thought in a million years they would be caught up in the legal system over something like that? Surely, as a parent, I have a right to have a different opinion than the other parent. Oh, but not if we're talking about this, you don't. If you don't jump on board and you're not 100% behind your 8-year-old wanting to be a girl when he was born a boy, you're awful. That's the world that we've created. Why? Why? Why are we trying to create that world where 8-year-olds can make such huge decisions about their life? This isn't what I'm going to do for the weekend. This is what's going to happen that's going to greatly affect every single part of your life from then on out. And a judge believes an 8-year-old has a right to make that decision, and any parent who disagrees is bad? I mean, I don't know what's more disgusting, that or seeing the 11-year-old drag boy apparently hitting the gay clubs and stripping and making money. I'm disgusted at where this is going. Like, and I know when all of this first started coming out, not every person who was trans wanted things to go this way. And there's a whole other group of trans who did go through all of the steps, all of the procedures, lopped off body parts, put new ones in, and regret it. They regret it. I watched an entire, 1-hour documentary on a bunch of different trans people who regret their decision to ever take it as far as they did. They said it did not help, it made them feel worse, and they were just as suicidal. I mean, are these facts not important? Are these experiences not important? I mean, if we talk about the dark side of transgender, we're the enemy of transgenders? No, absolutely not. Feeling like you're someone else than what your body presents is a mental disorder. And it's the only mental disorder that we treat by allowing the disorder to take over the person. And now we're supposed to allow 8-year-olds to make that choice? 30-year-olds made that choice and still regretted it. You as a parent have control over your 8-year-old and their decisions and what they do with their day. And if you can't even control that, and you have to allow your 8-year-old to make such a huge decision that could actually lead to a more catastrophic result, just so you don't lose your child, you're going to lose your child anyway. I mean, this makes me so angry. I do have a few transgender people on my friends list. One of which, when we became Facebook friends, I don't know if she was a minor or if she was just like 16, 17 years old. This is when I was very liberal and believed that everybody should shine the way they felt made them beautiful. And if a boy felt like he shined dressing like a girl, more power to you. And I'm still friends with these people today. Do I agree necessarily that they should have started so young? I think the process should start the second a child brings this to your attention. Absolutely. But how you handle a child versus a grown-up should be completely different. If my son had come home at 8 years old and said, "Mom, I know everything about my body tells you that I'm a male, but I truly feel female. I love makeup. I love dresses. I love high heels. And I really feel like if I could dress that way, I would feel better about myself." Do it. Do it. Do it. I would say do it. And I would be right there cheering on my child. But I would also tell him, be careful where you make these decisions. You might feel like this today. You might even feel like this tomorrow. You may still feel like this in 3 years. But there is a chance that you could wake up tomorrow and not feel like that at all. Do you really want to express this publicly, like going to school, or is this something that you want to try at home, around family, or just going to the grocery store? Baby steps, because makeup washes off. The clothes and the shoes can come off, and you're still you. You go letting your 14-year-old boy get breast implants? Come on. Come on. I'm sorry. That's ridiculous. That is a decision that can no longer be kept in the home. Now, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, people see you as a boy with breasts. Okay? Because let's be real. If people already know you, already know who you are, already know that you were a boy, that's what they're seeing. They're seeing you have transitioned. Now you have breasts, and those breasts, you can't just take them off and put them in the closet when you have to go somewhere that you feel like that might not be appropriate. Okay, so see what I'm saying here? There's things that we can allow our children to do to express themselves that doesn't alter their hormones, doesn't alter their body, but still feel like they're doing what they want to do to make themselves feel better. I don't think that there's any 8-year-old on the planet that walks up to his mom or dad and says, "Mom, I know I'm a boy, but I really feel like a girl. Can you take me to the doctor and get me surgery?" What kid knows that they could just go to the doctor's office and change their sex unless somebody told them that that's what could happen? So first and foremost, your children are only but so aware of what's going on with themselves at such a young age, and it takes the adult, the doctor, the therapist, to put it in a perspective for the child to understand. Okay, Sean, we'll call our little boy Sean. You want to be Shauna? Okay, you can be Shauna. But because you're only 8, you can only pretend to be Shauna. You can't actually be Shauna, because that would mean you would have to do things to your body that you're not allowed to do to your body yet. And explain to them that their body is still growing, their brain is still growing, and that things might change later. And you go altering hormones, altering body parts before they've even finished forming. You're not giving your true self a chance to understand what's really going on with you and how to fix it. and allowing an 8-year-old to make those kind of decisions is ridiculous to me. How dare we say an 8-year-old should decide, I want to be a different sex, and you're going to be okay with it? Because if you're not, I'll go to the judge, and the judge will take me away. No. No, that's not right. That's not fair to the parent who's trying to just do right by their child. It's not fair to the child who doesn't understand what they're asking for and what it does to the adults and how it affects the adults who have to now treat this issue. And when you have two parents that don't agree, now one could lose custody. I'm sorry, but if someone could lose custody over that, it should be the parent allowing this shit to happen at 8 years old. Sorry. I just feel how I feel. A lot of transgenders, a few of the ones that were in the video that I watched the other day, knew from a young age. But even still yet, everything that they did to make themselves feel more like themselves and to feel better about themselves only left them wanting more. And when there was nothing else to change and everything was done that could be possible to make you feel like you're now who you think you are, it didn't change anything for these people. Now they had nothing left to change, nothing left to do with themselves, and still bear the mental disorder that causes them to think this way. And now there's nothing else they can do to change themselves. What do you think happens to those people then? That's why we still have such a very high suicide rate in the transgender community. And now we're allowing children who don't even have enough brain power to match their clothes, to spell 5-letter words, to make such a decision. Like, I used to be liberal. I'm a little bit more conservative, but I still have a very liberal way of thinking just because I don't believe the government should be in control of every single thing that we do. I don't think I was ever that liberal. I think had somebody brought this scenario to my attention 5 years ago, I would have been a conservative a lot sooner. Just saying. We're getting to the point where this is just ridiculous. Have you seen the 11-year-old drag queen who performed at a gay club, stripped, and people were throwing money at him? What if my 13-year-old daughter wants to be a stripper? Does that mean I should dress her up in stripper gear and take her to the club? And because she's cute and because she's 13, she should be able to live her dream and live how she wants to live because that's who she identifies as? No. We have restaurant bars that serve alcohol and food. Chili's is a good example of a restaurant bar. Then you have establishments that serve food but also turn into a nightclub after about 9 o'clock at night. There's a lot of places you'll see signs on the door that say no minors after 9 o'clock. And this is because most of the food service is shut down at that point, the music is turned up, and the liquor is flowing. Okay? Children don't belong there. I need an ID to walk into a club. So how is an 11-year-old little boy cruising a gay club, stripping, and getting tips? And people say that that's okay and it's normal because it's empowering this 11-year-old to be who he wants to be. I wanted to cry when I saw that. I still want to cry. This poor kid is living a life that he feels is best for him at 11. What if he feels differently at 21 and 8 years of his life has been lived out in the open as a transgender stripping at gay bars? going on news talk shows and flaunting this other side of him that he might not have any connection to once he hits puberty. I mean, come on. There's that whole thing still, you know, puberty. It's kind of important. And a lot of different things happen to the brain and the body once puberty happens. But we're supposed to let these kids make these decisions.